Hello, my name is Nicholas Garrison, and isn't it annoying hearing every year that we are experiencing the hottest or the coldest temperatures that it has been in centuries? Being honest, these rising temperatures are pretty daunting, but luckily, some of the effects of the National Park Service are working to lower and offset them. So, hopefully by the end of this speech, I hope to convince you guys to support the National Park Service. Let's be honest, day-to-day life is stressful enough. Let's not add a dying climate on top of our fall semester textbook fees. Good luck, everyone. So, personally, my credentials, I have about 200 hours of working in the National Park Service as a volunteer. I've had plenty of experiences speaking to the other rangers about climate change and global temperatures. Here's my special little volunteer shirt from when I helped the 2024 festival. It's pretty good, pretty snazzy, hard to miss. So, I'll explain the effects of global temperatures and how they came to be, as well as the effects of the National Park Service, and then some ways that you can support them. So, let's start off with global temperatures rising over the year. According to Assistant Professor of Chemical Engineering, R. Lindsay, and core member of the Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Education Division, L. Dahlman, in their 2025 page on climate.gov, Climate Change and Global Temperatures. Since 1975, every decade, global temperatures have increased by 0.36 degrees Fahrenheit. Might not seem like much, but let's think about in terms of generations. How hot is it going to be if you have grandkids? We don't want little Timmy having a heat stroke, and we don't want to have to dish out water buckets every square mile. It's going to be a little bit rough. Now, like I said, it doesn't seem like much, but take this into consideration. Between 1850 and 1975, the average temperature by decade only went up by 0.11 degrees Fahrenheit. Because we have more cars, more carbon emissions coming up, and more factories, it's just going to keep on increasing unless we stop it and slow it down. So, 2024 was the warmest year since 1850 by increasing the average temperature by 2.68 degrees Fahrenheit. Just think about how hot it will be next century. Gotta get that summer tan working while you can before you pass out. Gotta look good if you're going to pass out, as my park rangers say. So, I've talked a lot about carbon emissions. What are these? They are greenhouse gases along with methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gas emissions. These collect energy, also called heat, how we feel it, that radiates off the sun, and it traps it in our atmosphere, and it's unable to incorporate back into the carbon cycle through decomposition or photosynthesis. So, things are getting bad, we're kind of in a bit of an oven, and the world's going to set on fire. However, there's ways to offset this, and one of the ways is a carbon sink. Now, luckily, carbon sinks work to incorporate CO2 gases back into the environment, like through decomposition and photosynthesis. So, according to the 2025 EPA.gov page, sources of greenhouse gases and emissions by, you all guessed it, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, U.S. green gas emissions has increased by 500 million metric tons of CO2 since 2020. So, that's a lot. But for context, what is equivalent CO2? Overall, it's the worldwide unit of measurement used to weigh these gases as a universal unit. So you could have 5 tons of methane gas, but then you just translate it into how much that would weigh of carbon dioxide. That way, everyone working on environmental agencies have a universal language to work with. So, now, luckily, the offset, how do we get it? Now, in 1990, U.S. managed forests and other lands created a CO2 sink to offset it by 13%. Might not seem like much, but think about 13% when it's compared to 500 million metric tons. That's a lot. It might be not even half, not even a third, not even a quarter, but it's buying enough time to get something figured out. So, speaking about U.S. managed lands, let's talk about the National Park Service and some of the effects it has. So let's begin with the environmental effects. In 2023, there was a new ranger by the name of S. Desmarais, and she wrote in an article of A Day in the Life of a Fellow for the National Park Service highlighted programs, which oversaw the Civilian Climate Corps and the Climate Network. So, the Civilian Climate Corps works to educate youth, get them involved in community service in nature, and overall just educate them on promoting a cleaner environment. Educating the youth, as I will get to, is a very key component to promoting a healthier environment for the future. Now, the Climate Corps Network worked to plant over 1 million trees within the United States, thus helping the carbon sink expand and promoting photosynthesis. So, what else have they done? We all want to get to the meat of it. We got to line our pockets somehow. How do these help us economically? According to data analyst M. Fleer and NPS supervisory economist L. Kuntz in their 2024 page of Headwater Economics, Economic Impact of National Parks, that between 2022 and 2023, visitation had increased by 4%. So that's cool, they got some more visitors. However, that 4% alone increased the amount of jobs by 415,400 jobs. That's a lot more open positions just from 4%. And that alone increased local spending by about $26.4 billion. Now, that's pretty cool. How do we support them and keep their cause going? Through donations of either money, time, or other resources that your local national park would ask of, or by just promoting good stewardship, by being respectful and cleaning up after yourself. Also, simply enough, just sharing your experiences works to promote a better national park service, because that it involves engagement from other people and increases their interest. So, now we know about the increase in global temperatures and how the National Park Service works to offset it while providing for the environment and their economy and the education. So, I hope you'll take to one of the methods I've said about donating or providing stewardship or sharing your experiences. It's accessible and easy, I promise you. In the wise words of my physics professor, it's just a drop in the ocean, but it's mine. Thank you so much.